Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of First Impression Sports Talk. I am Jasmine Pollock, your host, and today we're going to be talking about the Kansas City Chiefs winning another Super Bowl. They went back to back again, and we haven't seen a back to back since 2004 with the New England Patriots. So we're going to get into it. So let's get started. Now, before we get started, I want to thank Fluent Media for giving me the opportunity to have my show here and just talk about all things sports and what to expect on my journey of being a sports podcaster. So let's get into it. Last night was the Super Bowl. We all witnessed the Super Bowl Usher halftime performance. We saw so many celebrities, so many new things happen, but we're going to talk about this game. Now, you have the San Francisco 49ers being the visiting team. They were the number one seed in the NFC, and they won, and they're here now again for another time. And then we get the Kansas City Chiefs, who were the winners of the AFC, and they ended up going on to win last year. This is the second time these teams met a couple of years ago in Miami. I happened to be working that game and happened to see the 49ers and Kansas City Chiefs game because that was the first time Mahomes won his ever first ring. Now, in this game, I wasn't really going for anyone because obviously I'm a Green Bay Packers fan. And I just wanted to see how Brock Purdy would work. I wanted to see how Kyle Shanahan would overcome those humps of the Super Bowl because now he has a 0-3 record in the Super Bowl. And on top of that as well, the 49ers have lost three straight Super Bowls in the recent years. So to start off, the 49ers had a great first half drive. Didn't amount to anything because Christian McCaffrey did cough up the ball. But then the 49ers defense came out swinging. I mean, for the majority of the game, it was a long, drawn-out 0-0 defensive game. It was low scoring. But the 49ers were getting yards. They just weren't capitalizing off in the red zone. And we all know in Super Bowl appearances, when you're playing in the Super Bowl, you have to have those moments of getting into the red zone and scoring. And I get with field goals, you can't beat a Kansas City Chiefs team with field goals, and we all saw that. So we saw Kansas City start to get cranking. They start to get their offense clicking. But overall, to me in this game, it did not look to me that these are the best two teams in the NFL. It still like these teams both had jitters. They both were having miscues. They both had issues protecting the ball. Patrick Mahomes did throw a pick, even though he had overall a good game. And I think both quarterbacks did what needed to be done to get their teams in the positions to what they needed to. But again, Mahomes was the better quarterback. He made the better plays. He made the plays that mattered in the end, and we all saw that over time when they just marched down the field and scored with Mecole Hardman catching the game-winning pass. And for the 49ers, I don't know how long this is going to continue to happen because a lot of guys are getting older. It's not easy getting back to that. And then your psyche on top of that, you worked so hard and you fought back to get to this point in your season. And not to mention the last time you played this Kansas City Chiefs team, Mahomes wins his first Super Bowl. New quarterback because you had Jimmy Garoppolo back then, and you feel like we have the guy now with Brock Purdy. And it's not like Brock Purdy played bad. It's just when you're playing the Super Bowl, that's where you make your money. That's where you show people that, hey, I'm here to stay, and I'm going to make this play to show people that, whoa, this kid is legit. And there were certain plays that I felt like Brock Purdy, he made good plays, but then again, didn't make good plays. And for the majority of the time, I feel like the 49ers did not win this game. And they didn't win this game, and it started in the third quarter. In the third quarter, the 49ers were up 10-6. The kids, they get the third down stop in the beginning of the end of the second quarter, and they force the Kansas City Chiefs to kick a field goal. You're going to halftime 10-6, and you pretty much dominated the first half of that game. You head into the second half, and Mahomes and the offense get the ball to start, and Mahomes throws a pick. Now, to Kyle Shanahan, we've seen this time and time again where he gives up leads in big moments like this, in big games like this. And the biggest thing is, why aren't we running the ball? For 6 straight attempts, it was 6 passes when they got the ball after that pick that they got from Mahomes. I don't understand what he was trying to do, and I don't understand what the game plan was because your defense played lights out the whole game. All the offense had to do is run the ball. Run the ball. Get Christian McCaffrey in between the tackles. Get Deebo Samuels out and screens and different things like that to get time off the clock and get, even if you got a field goal in that moment, that still would have put some pressure on the Kansas City Chiefs. But you still want to get touchdowns playing against a Patrick Mahomes, obviously. And no, you go 3 and out, you're doing pass, 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 pass. That stops the clock, that keeps the game, and there's no time left off. You get a lot of incomplete, incomplete, incomplete. It's the same thing we've seen from Kyle Shanahan in a lot of Super Bowls. Even when he was the offensive coordinator with the Falcons, you're playing the Patriots, you're up 28-3, and you have the momentum heading in the second half. Run the ball. You didn't have to pass. The only time you could have passed is on a play action. When you're just, okay, this is, one time we ran a lot of times. Let's do this one time. That's the only time you needed to do that. And for Kyle Shanahan, I don't know, what the future beholds. The stigma now on him is he can't hold a lead. The stigma is now you give games away. And what we call that in sports terms is called choking. But we're not going to get into all that. But for the 49ers, I think Brock Purdy can be the answer. I think what we saw, he didn't put the ball in harm's way. I mean, he didn't have any turnovers. I mean, I get there's some throws that you're like, ooh, that could have been a pick, or he has some, some low throws. He has some throws that were like questionable, but he didn't put the ball in harm's way. And that's a big thing from a young quarterback playing in his first ever Super Bowl. This is his second season playing as a starter. He did not put the ball in harm's way. And for the most part, he did make positive throws. For the most part, he did what he needed to do in order to put the 49ers in a position to win. Now, let's look at Kansas City. Congratulations. I want to say that for the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, like I said in the beginning of the show, this is the first time in 20 years since we had a back-to-back, and that was when Tom Brady was in New England. I was 4 years old at that time. Can you imagine? But for Kansas City, this was supposed to be the year of rebuild. Honestly, everyone did not expect the Chiefs to be back and win the Super Bowl because this statistically was their worst year. Their defense was their best asset this year. And what is the old adage? Defense wins you championships. And that's what they did. They held the 49ers to a field goal where the 49ers gave up a touchdown. That's just what it was. And Mahomes made the plays that needed to be made that separates him in the conversation of the new and young quarterbacks today. Now, when we talk about GOAT conversation, and I know that's the conversation going on right now of him and Brady, let's pump the brakes. Congrats to Mahomes. He has 3 Super Bowl rings. He's been to 4 Super Bowls. He's 3 of 4 in the Super Bowl. Congratulations. He is the cream of the crop of the quarterbacks currently right now. He has surpassed a lot of Hall of Famers. Absolutely. But when we talk about Tom Brady, and I want people to really listen to me on this. Is he chasing Tom Brady? Yes. But he's going to continue to chase Tom Brady, and I'm going to tell you why. He is 0-2 in the postseason against the GOAT, against Tom Brady. When you played Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, if he beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, that was the first year Tom Brady became a Buccaneer, and they're playing in Tampa Bay Stadium, and that was the first time Brady was there in that stadium, first time that he was that he got that team to the Super Bowl as a Buccaneer. That was your moment, Mahomes. And I get there was a lot of odds against him. I get he had O-line, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You had to beat Tom Brady in that moment to say, okay, I'm here. But no, you didn't beat the GOAT when it mattered. Then then in the AFC Championship game a couple years prior, you lose to him in your building. We can't have GOAT conversations about someone who didn't beat the GOAT when the GOAT was here. When the GOAT was still playing, you didn't beat him in the biggest stages. So I can't give, and even Mahomes said that in the post conferences, he beat me. So I mean, when we talk about GOAT, and I get Mahomes he's a Hall of Famer at 28, 3 Super Bowls, 2 MVPs. The kid can play. He is one of the greats right now. Yes, 100%. When we talk about the GOAT, greatest of all time, no, you didn't beat the GOAT when you had him in your midst. When you had him in the Super Bowl, you didn't beat him. And when you were in the AFC Championship game, you didn't beat him. Now, Are the Kansas City Chiefs a dynasty? Absolutely. They are a dynasty. They are the team to beat right now in the NFL. I Andy Reid has made magic again. Andy Reid deserves all of this because he's went through a lot, as a coach. And there was times where he gets there and didn't get that win. And now he's getting those wins. And Andy Reid is making a name for himself. And me and my father talked about this. I think the coach conversation is starting to change. Now we know Belichick is Belichick. We know what he did for 20 years in New England. But what Andy Reid is starting to show, like, listen, I deserve to be in that GOAT conversation as coaches. Now, that is a conversation I will entertain because you look at what Andy Reid's done. He's went to Super Bowls as a Chief, as an Eagle. He's done a lot of that. Now, it was just the knock on Andy Reid was he wasn't winning. But now he's winning. Now he has a quarterback. Now he has a team. Now he has a nucleus that he's winning now. And they're looking to three-peat. They're looking to that. And here's the thing. I can't bet against them. And I'm a Green Bay Packers fan, so I don't have to worry about them in the NFC. But in the AFC, we look at it. The only person I could say can change all of this is Joe Burrow. Is Joe Burrow when healthy? When Joe Burrow's healthy, he is a scary man. He's a scary player. That Bengals team is very scary. And I think he is the only quarterback in the AFC that can give issues to Patrick Mahomes. Now, if CJ Stroud can continue to play like how he played this year, and if this team gets stronger, I think the Texans can really cause issues. But at the same time, you can't bet against Andy Reid and Mahomes and Travis Kelce right now. They struck gold. Right now, they are a dynasty. They are the team to beat. Until somebody beats them, they're going to be around. They're going to be here. They're going to be in the talk. They're going to be the favorites all the time. I saw last night that after the Super Bowl, the 49ers are the favorites next year. I can't say that. You just can't say that because you don't know who you're getting back. A lot of people are getting older. And then when you look at the Chiefs, when you get that win, now we know we have that winning pedigree. They have the mind of a champion. Now we're going to do it again and again and again until somebody stops them. That's just what it is. So, again, congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. And for the 49ers, I don't know what you could possibly do. I mean, you have the team. I mean, you had the players in place, but it's just you got, I think, Andy Reid again, out-coach Shanahan again. I just think that's what I saw. I think Shanahan again in those in-game situations where you have the game in your hands, he tends to fumble it. He tends to get, and you had Dad up there. And I would say, I don't know if Dad talked to him, hey, son, run the ball. I mean, his dad was run first when he was a Denver Bronco head coach. But I don't know what the 49ers do from here. I don't know what they can do from here because there's so much at stake. There's so many teams in the NFC, my Packers, that are getting better, that are young, that the things are going to be changing now. So it's not as easy going back all the time. And of course, if you still have Shanahan, you still have a chance. You still have a team. If you're going to keep Brock Purdy, different things like that. But there's certain things I need to see from the 49ers again for them to get back to this moment. They have to get over this hump. And I don't know if they get over this hump. For the Kansas City Chiefs, what's stopping them from getting back to the Super Bowl again? I mean, what's stopping that? And they have a dynasty. They have their quarterback. They have their coach. They have their players. That's just what it is. But that wraps up First Impression Sports Talk. Again, I wanted to thank Fluent Media for giving my show an opportunity to be on the program. Next year, the Super Bowl will be held in New Orleans this year. So we're going to see who's going to win. It officially starts off season. We are officially in the off season of the NFL. We're going to look to the draft in April. There's so many things going to be happening today. Not today, but in sports in the offseason. We have a lot to look forward to. Now we're looking to basketball. Then March Madness is coming up. Also, we look at hockey season. The Olympics is happening this year. So there's a lot going to be happening in sports. So we'll be talking, not just football, but all things sports. So that wraps up First Impression Sports Talk. See you guys next time.